What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Justin Gaethje update for UFC 313. Dan Hooker might be willing to fight Justin Gaethje at UFC 313 regardless of the fact that he broke his left hand. However, as a result of the injury, he's been pulled from the card. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. While some fans wondered whether Gaethje may wind up getting pulled from the card and the fight rescheduled, the UFC is reportedly planning to keep Gaethje on the card. During a video for his YouTube channel, Daniel Cormier weighed in, revealing that he called Gaethje at 6 a.m. after the news of Hooker's withdrawal surfaced to get his thoughts on the situation.
My first call in the morning, at 6 o'clock in the morning, I called JG because I want to know what's happening. Is there a preference? There are people that are already stepping up saying, I want the fight. The significance of being in there against Justin Gaethje. But moving forward, Justin Gaethje is still fighting. I called him this morning, and my immediate question was, do you have any plans to not fight this weekend? He goes, are you crazy? That's Justin Gaethje. He goes, are you crazy? Of course I'm fighting.
For a while, the MMA community was holding out hope that Gaethje and Michael Chandler would run things back after Chandler shared a picture of the two after their UFC 268 fight a few years back, along with a telephone emoji. He then followed it up, clarifying the situation. I appreciate all the interest, but I've got my opponent and my date. Gutted for JG, but I know he's down to fight anyone. We will see him fight at the scheduled date. As for me, UFC 314 gonna be fire. As DC said in his YouTube video, he wants to see Renato Moicano step in on short notice to fight Gaethje. While Moicano is down, he'll have to wait and see how things shake out. Arman Tsarukyan responded to a fan telling him to step in on short notice because he would beat Justin Gaethje, and Arman replied with, I would. Then Arman went off on Dan Hooker for pulling out by writing on Twitter, karma doesn't miss, big mouth glass hands, maybe just stick to talking instead of fighting. Dan Hooker quickly fired back writing, if only your dad pulled out quicker than your last fight. Glass hand haha glass house. Mateusz Gamrot is still calling out Justin Gaethje. American Top Team posted this video.
UFC, I am ready. I train really hard. Give him the opportunity and I show whoa!
Gamrot responded to the tweet with a phone emoji and tagging the UFC. Dustin Poirier goes off on Michael Chandler and accuses him of being a cheater. If you remember during their fight, Dustin accused Chandler of cheating by blowing blood in his eyes when his nose was broken, and also by sticking his fingers in Dustin's mouth to lift up his chin when attempting to get a choke. He called out Michael Chandler for being fake and acting like he wasn't cheating throughout the fight. Dustin also revealed that when Chandler stuck his fingers in his mouth, he attempted to bite off his fingers, but the mouth guard saved them. Here's what Dustin had to say during an interview.
Why do I dislike him so much? It comes back to this. Long time ago, I was at a Bellator event. Comes in the back. I just wanted to come over and shake your hand. I respect you so much, man. Your career has been awesome. You've had so many great fights. You've come back from adversity. So nice to finally meet you and shake your hand. Fast forward a year, 2 years, or whatever, he makes it to the UFC. Now he's talking trash on me. And then I saw him in Vegas. He was coming into an event at the T-Mobile Arena. And that's the first time I saw him since. So I said, you little I said, he walked in front of the security sergeant. I said, man, you're a fake That's how I will beat. He's fake, bro. And he's a cheater. He does all kind of stuff, man. Blows the blood in my eyes after I break his nose. That's cool. I've done that before. And I admitted it after. And then Chandler, I brought it up and he said he didn't do it. Like, just admit it, bro. You're so fake. Then he stuck his fingers in my mouth to lift my neck up for a rear naked choke, right? I'm trying to get up off the fence. He sticks his fingers inside my mouth, grips my mouth guard, pulls my head up to try to get his hand under my chin. Bro, I bite his fingers so hard. If I didn't have a mouth guard on my top teeth, if my teeth could touch together,
you bit his fingers off?
Oh, bro, he'll be walking and rocking like this forever. Hey, because I had a grip so good, I felt my bottom teeth go into his skin. I bet you he was cut. He knows what I'm talking about.
UFC 315 press conference. Surprisingly, there was a UFC 315 presser, and we don't think many people knew about this. It was held in Montreal, where the fight is taking place. The press conference energy wasn't there at all, but we can't blame them. JDM had a 12-hour flight yesterday and seemed very tired throughout the entire press conference. Belal tried to get some trash talking going on, but nothing happened. With that aside, Belal Muhammad came out and said he's the best striker in the division. And JDM responded to those claims.
Will he be able to be keeping up with my boxing? I have the best striker in the welterweight division. I'm the best grappler. I'm the best wrestler. I'm the best fighter. You've seen it. Leon Edwards, he was the next one up. He was the GOAT. He knocked out Kamaru Usman, and I made it look easy. I'm going to make it look easy May 10th. People are just going to keep doubting me, and I'm just going to keep breaking those barriers. I'm going to keep showing you guys I'm the best fighter in the world. He's coming out of the kiddie pool, and he's going straight into the deep end of the ocean. This is going to be a bad night for him.
Easy up until the last 30 seconds, and then it wasn't so easy, but we'll see what happens.
Who do you think would win, Belal Muhammad or JDM? Let us know down in the comment section below. Patricio Pitbull leaks DMs with Yair Rodriguez. While Patricio Pitbull and Yair Rodriguez might be booked to fight for Pitbull's UFC debut, he's been pretty vocal about the fact that a number of featherweights did not want to fight him. During an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show on Tuesday, Pitbull spoke through a translator about the fight and showed off the DM exchanges that he had with Yair Rodriguez on Instagram before the fight was finalized. "I heard you're having second thoughts about fighting me on March 29th. I hope that's not true. Show me that Mexican pride. Tell the UFC it's on." Yair then responded, "I'll love to welcome you. Let's make it happen." Pitbull then followed up, "I was told the UFC has yet to receive your answer. Are we gonna fight?" Yair then called him desperate, saying the UFC has his answer. During his own appearance on Ariel Helwani's show on Tuesday, El Pantera shared his side of the story. "Whenever he DM'd me, I said, yeah man, sure, let's do it. And he was just trying to get me to react to him, but I'm over that. I'm here to fight. That's like a mad girlfriend. I don't fall for that very easily." Pitbull also shared some light on his UFC contract, saying it was fair, but the most important thing to him is his legacy. "It was a good amount, it was a fair offer, but the most important thing to me, and what's more important, is my legacy, so I wasn't really worried about what they would pay." As he also revealed, if talks with the UFC had fallen through, he was planning to retire. "I told my management team to not even waste time talking with other promotions. It was either the UFC or retirement." At 37 years old, Pitbull will look to pick up a win over El Pantera in his UFC debut and cement himself as an immediate title contender in the wake of Ilia Topuria vacating the belt. Leon Edwards' reaction to fight change. After losing his title to Belal Muhammad, Leon Edwards was looking to get back in the win column in March against Jack Della Maddalena. However, in a surprising turn of events, the UFC pulled JDM from the fight, booking him for a title fight with Bully B, aka Belal Muhammad. On the flip side, the UFC booked Sean Brady to step in and fight Edwards in London. According to the former champion's brother, Fabian Edwards, who spoke with Homa Fight's Jake Noker, Rocky had no problems with the change of opponents for March.
Yeah, obviously when we had the change up, he just said, "F it." Said, I think I'm the best in the world, so why does it matter who I fight?" And that mentality just showed me, okay, let's go. You know what I mean? So it's looking good.
While on paper, the Edwards-Brady fight seems to be a more classic stylistic matchup between a striker in Edwards versus a grappler in Brady, Fabian Edwards doesn't seem to be putting much stock into the stylistic matchup, saying that his brother has been fighting grapplers for years now. And the most important thing is getting back in the win column. UFC updates. With Fight Week underway for this week's card at the Apex, let's take a look at today's UFC fight updates, starting with two new additions to the UFC 315 card in May. According to reports, Aiemann Zahabi is scheduled to fight the one and only Jose Aldo. This fight will see Zahabi look to pick up his 6th win in a row, while Aldo looks to get back in the win column after a super controversial loss to Mario Bautista that didn't sit well with fight fans. That card will also play host to a fight between Jessica Andrade and Jasmine Jasudavicius, with Andrade looking to bounce back from a loss to Natalia Silva, and Jasudavicius looking to build on a 4-fight victory streak. The following weekend, Jun Young Park and Ismail Nardiev are set to throw down on a Qatar card, with the Iron Turtle looking to build on a split decision win over Brad Tavares, and Nardiev looking to build on a 2-fight winning streak that most recently saw him defeat Bruno Silva in October. That card will also host a fight that immediately got fight fans talking. According to reports, Muhammad Usman and Hamdi Abdel-Wahab will be throwing down in a heavyweight bout on the card in a fight that'll see Usman look to snap a 2-fight skid, and Abdel-Wahab look to build on his first UFC win over Jamal Pogues back in February. Paddy Pimblett wants to beat Michael Chandler, then fight Conor McGregor. The last time we saw Paddy Pimblett in the octagon, he picked up a first-round win over King Green to crack the UFC's lightweight rankings. Now, ahead of his upcoming fight with Michael Chandler in April, the baddie is setting his sights on a win in order to line up a potential scrap with Conor McGregor. During an interview with Round 8 Boxing, the streaking Scouser revealed that a lot of people have been telling him to angle for the McGregor fight. But the big question is whether the former champ ever returns to action. Sounds very tasty. A lot of people have said this to me already. Obviously, he's the biggest star in the sport. He's the biggest star we've ever seen. Biggest pay-per-view star. I'll fight him in a main event. It will be at pay-per-view points. It's a no-brainer, of course, to fight McGregor. But let's see if he ever fights again. Let's see if he comes back to the octagon. I respect Conor McGregor. What he's done for the sport. Our sport wouldn't be as big as it is now if it wasn't for him. He took it to a new level, so getting the chance to fight him would be amazing. While a fight between Pimblett and McGregor would almost certainly do numbers, if the former champ does wind up fighting again, the expectation is he and Michael Chandler will settle their unfinished business from The Ultimate Fighter. The last we heard about McGregor's return from Dana White, however, didn't sound super optimistic, with White saying that he isn't sure when the former champ will be back. Jan Blachowicz predicts Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. Next weekend, Alex Pereira will look to pick up his 4th straight title defense at 205 when he faces off against Magomed Ankalaev, a fighter who many believe will be Poatan's toughest test at light heavyweight. Given that a win over Carlos Olberg would put Jan Blachowicz in position to challenge Pereira for the belt if he defeats Ankalaev, Blachowicz has a vested interest in next weekend's title fight. During the latest episode of Michael Bisping and Paul Felder's Believe You Me show, he shared his prediction for the Pereira-Ankalaev fight. We will see, I don't know, 50-50, but with a little bit on Pereira's side. If Ankalaev will be fighting like Rakic in a fight with Pereira, he's gonna lose. He need to do something more. He need to use his wrestling skills to make Pereira tired, tire his hands, and then he can start fighting in stand-up. If he fight in stand-up only like kickboxer, he gonna lose the fight. If he gonna use his wrestling skills, he's gonna do nothing. To date, Blachowicz and his famed Polish power gave Pereira his toughest test at 205, taking Poatan to a decision back in 2023. After double shoulder surgeries, he's now ready to get back into the octagon and hopefully get himself in position for a title fight. Merab Dvalishvili drops new Sean O'Malley skit. Following last weekend's UFC Fight Night Seattle card, Dana White told members of the press at the post-fight press conference that Merab Dvalishvili and Sean O'Malley want to fight each other. Between that and the fan interest surrounding the fight, White seemed to indicate that a rematch between the two would be next up for the bantamweight division. While nothing's been finalized yet, and there's been no further news regarding the 135-pound title picture, the Machine dropped a new skit on social media teasing the fight. The clip starts with the champion rolling up in a Hyundai Santa Fe, before the camera zooms in on Merab, who's driving the car with the gold UFC championship gloves on, and headgear as well. Sitting shotgun is a pillow of O'Malley wearing a hat that says Merab's son. The champion captioned the video, "Back from vacation, headed to sparring, getting fans hyped for his next title defense." According to an interview O'Malley's coach gave in January, although the former champion is still recovering from hip surgery, he's back to wrestling and doing jiu-jitsu. Considering that interview is now about a month old, O'Malley should be even closer to returning. Dana White releases fighter after being signed for just 4 days. Mazhabjan Ruziboev was signed to the UFC for a short notice fight against Jared Gordon at UFC Vegas 102. Unfortunately, he failed to make weight and got sick before being able to step in on the scale and pulled out of the fight. Dana White was not happy about that because he only signed him to make this fight happen, and it didn't, so he was released from the UFC today.